Check out this marble that we created using epoxy. You can cover any surface and renew it using Stone Coat Countertop Epoxy. Simple tools, tips, and tricks. You can emulate natural stone to perfection. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Remember, when you subscribe to our channel, click on the red subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell so you get notified every time we have a new video. Thanks again. Hey guys, Mike here with StoneCoatCountertops.com. I'm with Nick Lang. Nick Lang is with Epoxy Candy. You could find him at epoxycandy.com.
That's right.
You can find him on the Stone Coat Countertop Insiders. He chimes in a lot. He came out here all the way from
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, man, holy cow. We're gonna make a cool sample. I did a really fun project the other day where I had some leftover epoxy, some leftover additives. We created a color recipe, and now we're gonna transfer that color recipe into something that would actually be functional, big size.
Awesome.
You ready?
Yes.
You've worked your way around epoxy for some time.
I have.
All right.
For years, so I'm excited to learn with you and see what we can do together. It's cool.
It's gonna be fun. So we're gonna mix up our normal Stone Coat Countertop epoxy at a 1-to-1 ratio. We got different reservoirs for different additives. Let's get started. Okay, I'm gonna sand the edges here. They're a little rough, especially when you use MDF. It's still gonna be porous on those edges. I'll do these two sides. If you wanna do those other two sides out front, Nick, I'm gonna start pouring these colors. So I got my white metallic, deep silver metallic, violet pearl. We're gonna add some silver glitter and our white base tint. That'll be what we use for our recipe. How long have you lived in Minneapolis?
My whole life. I don't know why I still do. I come out places like this and I question question why I live in the city. No, it's beautiful. It's fun there, but wow, you have some beautiful country out here.
Oh, thank you very much. What's your favorite type of epoxy project to do? What do you like doing?
I am heavy with the torch, so I love to do things where I can really manipulate with the torch.
Gotcha. You know, I found that knowing how to replicate stone is a skill that it's acquired by practice, right? If you look at natural stone, if you work with natural stone, and you know, we just did a class out in Vegas where we took a piece of granite, we set it next to our, and we picked colors that we thought would match, learned the technique to match it, and then the group took that same little recipe, transferred it to this big table, and it was the coolest group project I've ever seen. Because it's crazy when you get lots of hands on something, it can go south, but it was a home run, man. It was cool.
The great thing about stone is imperfect is perfect, right?
Yeah.
So when you have more hands in it, you don't, you get different perspectives.
Yes, sir.
Points of view.
I like that. Imperfect is, pro tip of the day, imperfect is perfect.
That's right.
I like the one that says, different is better than better. And I mixed up two different batches of white. I did a really concentrated version and then a really translucent. When you mix, you rub the sides and the bottom of that bucket, but then we transfer these into little cups, and it's good to scrape and mix really good in each of these, right? So I could trowel out this white, which, you know what we'll probably do, we'll use a little bit of white, we'll trowel most of that out to give us like a lubricated surface. So you want to pour out, here's what my plan is. We'll pour out half the cup wherever you want, and I'll do half, and then we'll rotate colors. Yeah.
Colors?
And I think the best thing about doing this is just to get color randomly spread throughout the piece. Yeah, this is a sweet color, man. This is the only color I didn't use in that other recipe that I like, so I figure I'll throw it in here and see what happens.
That translucent effect, it's going to change depending on, it's so iridescent, it changes depending on which way you look at it. I'm standing this way, I see a lot of purple. I stand over this way, I see almost like this red-orange.
Yeah. You know what I like in this stage of the pour is when you're doing this in front of a customer, at this point they're going, why did I hire this guy?
Right.
What did I do? And because you've sent them a sample, they've seen their work, they're willing to hold on, but at this point they're definitely panicking, you know? All right. You can use a sponge, you can use a rag, you can use basically whatever you want to move the epoxy. But you told me the other day you like getting your hands dirty, so we're just gonna get our hands dirty. You do that half, I'll do this half. And all I'm trying to do at this point is anything that's bald, touch it. And nice thing is once you rub epoxy on something, it will self-level to that section. If you leave it bald, the surface tension really doesn't like to let the epoxy flow over there.
Mike, tell me, what was your decision to make the choice of using heat gun at this point versus the torch?
Great question. So I like using the heat gun because I can be on it for a long time. I know I'm not gonna burn the epoxy with it, and I like the air because it pushes it into itself, as opposed to a torch will move it, and I like using the torch here too, but it's a lot quicker. So what I'll do is I'll come in here, feather things the way I want, and then grab a torch if I want it. But you can use a torch right off the bat if that's what you would like.
Accelerate? Do you like because it doesn't accelerate?
Well,
that section of curing.
the only way that it will accelerate is if you hold it there too long. Other than that, it still takes a very long time for that working time to dissipate. But if you hold it in place, it'll put a scab. And like you said, when it's stress-free, you don't really worry about it. Just have a good time. And at this point, it's so fun. I call it painting with air. Just moving this thing around. I really like pushing that color in, kind of splitting that.
Mike, do you recommend attachments to your heat gun? Do you recommend anybody any specific thing, or do you like it just open like this?
I have a doggone pile of heat guns that we bought and tested, and I like the ones that have a little bit more airflow. I really don't care what attachment's on it. I find that one works fine for what I'm doing, and then I'm not married to that attachment. I like to keep it simple whenever possible.
Yeah.
This is a pretty color. I like this recipe a lot, Nick.
It's subtle, and yet at the same time has color. And if you go too crazy bold, it just wouldn't fit in the house.
Right. Chris, I like this. I like where it's just subtle color into that white. That's why it's a good idea to use a couple of different styles of additives. If we just use metallics, those will be slightly muted. You know, they don't react with whatever it is you're pushing them against. So
I'm a firm believer of take your distance, right? When you're working on a project, step back and think about where those guests are going to see that house.
Yes.
Where are they going to see that kitchen that you worked on?
Because you can overdo it, you can overdo it. So step back, evaluate, and you could always manipulate and add more. Once you add color, sometimes it's hard to take it out, right?
Right.
You know, I agree too with like a kitchen. We always go slightly wild on that island where we'll do like an accent vein across that island, stuff like that, you know. I like that you made that blob not circular. That's good, man.
That silver glitter going on top of some of that, where it's the heavy white versus the translucent white. It gets lost in there, but it gives it that depth.
Yeah.
Real stone.
I never liked using glitter in conjunction with color before. It was always like this sample where it was micas and glitters. Sure. And then by accident, we got some of that involved in a piece, and I really liked how it came out. So those happy accidents, it's cool to play with those. Yeah, I like that. I like doing what you're doing right there where it's...
Manipulate a little bit.
Yeah.
Help it along, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right now it looks like a finger drug through it, and then you use that heat gun to move it enough to make it look natural and organic. You get a combination of a bunch of different little things going on.
For the longest time, I was never a fan of settle. I felt like that was something we would try to avoid, and now I found that you find a good balance between the way they meander and manipulate, especially when you're trying to make something look like a piece of stone.
Right. You can't have too many, but a lot of stone will have those crystallized rocks that are kind of embedded in it, you know? I like that. I like that tail that you got there, and that like fractures out into a bunch of different areas. Oh, that's cool, man. Nice.
This looks good.
Good job, man. Hey, good job. I'm just gonna sweep the torch over the whole thing. And again, on this coat, you're gonna have bubbles and imperfections because you got unlike materials fighting each other, and that's why we do a second coat. And plus, I wouldn't want this as my durability layer. I really like adding that pink hue in there. That's really pretty. I didn't have that in my other sample, and I really like it.
I am excited to see what you do if you want to tilt it, what it's going to do to it. But,
if I were to tilt it, it would be very little, and I think I'm going to leave it. And I want to ask the audience: would you have tilted this, or would you have left it here? I think this is a wall hanger, man. This is gonna go right in our showroom. Yeah, right on. Guys, check us out anytime at stonecoatcountertops.com. Call us anytime for free project support. And until next time from Stone Coat Countertops, you got this. We'll see you on the next video. Nice job, man. Guys, you stuck around. Guess what? Nick talked us into it.
We're gonna tilt it.
We're gonna tilt it. So you stayed, we play. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go tilt it the other way. I'm gonna heat up just this vein, and we'll tilt it the other way.
Look at that.
Well, I'm gonna use that heat gun just to move some of these lines so it doesn't all look muted that way. That'll help it a little bit. Well, what do you like better, Nick, before or after the tilt?
No, I haven't stepped back and looked at it yet, but I really like how we concentrated some of that movement into one section there. That's pretty cool.
I like that, man. I like that you added color there. Can we blow this one out a little bit more? It just, to me, it looks like a tree branch right now. There we go. That's plenty. Guys, you saw the tilt. Now vote. Would you have tilted or would you have left it? I really like it, Nick. Step back. You got to give me your opinion, man.
Yeah, we've got that cool transition all the way through. It goes dark to light. We got it moving through, man.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. I like that you brought that white into that silver section. That was the right move. All right, Chris, you got to show them up close, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Remember, stay to the end. You'll get a surprise. I came back to a job, had a big old fly in it. Oh no. Pulled the fly out, you got this big divot. I grabbed a drip off the bottom, put it in. Babied it, because you'll burn it.
Yep.
Just babied it, and then I got it, boom, glass. I was like, hooray, we fixed it.
Our epoxy rocks, Stone Coat Countertops.
Hey, visit us anytime at stonecoatcountertops.com. Call anytime for free project support. And until next time from Stone Coat Countertops, you got this. We'll see you soon.